It's been a while, and I wanted to talk about a couple of different stories. I've contemplated my options, and I was thinking about what the fuck am I gonna talk about? Well, guess what? I'm gonna talk about a story that has happened to me with Dungeons & Dragons. Yes, a proverbial thing that happens with me a lot is a lot of my problems, excuse the squeaky chair that constantly happens in my videos, is I have a constant problem with people during Dungeons & Dragons with either being A, the constant problem player, or B, just a minor nuisance. Well, this is just a minor nuisance, so this video is going to be a little shorter than my other videos. Okay? Because I'm going to skip the beginning part issue, because let's be real. Everyone was in the wrong because we're all just a bunch of newbies to D&D, or people that fucking were learning the game, and there's a bunch of situations beforehand. TLDR of that situation, both of us were in the wrong. I had admitted my wrongs, he totally didn't admit his wrongs, but sort of admitted it. It was weird. But this person is absolutely addicted to D&D. Now, disclaimer, I know this is a little late for a disclaimer, I do not hate Critical Role. I absolutely adore Critical Role. I adore Matt Mercer. I adore everybody. Sam Riggle's a fucking queen. And I'm just going to say flat out, how do I describe this situation to anyone that is an outsider looking in? This is Matt Mercer effect on one person's end, where everyone else is totally fine with the campaign as it's itself, because I am a novice DM. And the person who comes in is a somewhat, I want to say, more experienced DM who came in to play my game because he's barely a player himself. We're just gonna call him Percy for now. We'll tell you in a minute. It's quite funny. And Percy himself had a character beforehand named Vin. Vin was a Goliath barbarian, a little kind of dumb, a little kind of but when he left the campaign, Vin went off to do his own thing with his own buddies, some off somewhere. We formed that story, whatever, because as a DM, I feel awkward if I kill off a character, because that's a dick move. I find it to be a dick move if they don't have, like, an actual death in battle. Like, I'm not just gonna be an asshole and kill someone's character off because of assholey moves, unlike some people fucking... Anywho, back to what I was saying. So Percy came back, crawling back to us, and he was just like, I miss D&D. Can I at least listen to your guys' sessions? And Percy at least gave me some really good insight and monsters and really good things, and even technically caused a player of mine to leave because a player of mine went a little crazy and thought he was trying to kill everyone. Long story short, he wasn't. But technically, he wasn't. Technically, it was just, oops, I didn't balance an encounter correctly. We'll explain in a moment. So, as he's following us along, he makes a character just all new, just an NPC that can just sit so he has, like, sense of the situation. And I, at first, was just like, no, I don't want you to play, I just want you to listen. You just keep your ears open, don't comment, don't do nothing, don't do anything, you just listen. I'm gonna sip my lemonade. It's summer, you sip your lemonade. So, during this time, our lovely little friend was just like, okay, I guess I'll listen, whatever, at first. And then we kind of got a little easy on him, and we're like, okay, we'll let you do an NPC thing or whatever. I didn't care. NPC things, I'll let people come in as like a NPC appearance, but his NPC got a little suspicious. At least suspicious to my friends who watch Critical Role, which would be Ty and Charles. However, Charles noticed this, I think, a little first. I'm not sure if Ty noticed this first. It's a little wonky. Charles kind of sat there. We were in call one time, and Charles is just like, I got something to tell you. You ain't gonna like it. And I'm like, what's up? And he's just like, so, I think Vin is a copy of a character from Critical Role. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's just like, dumb Goliath character. They had another dumb Goliath character, and I'm just like, well, it seems to be a reoccurring theme in a bunch of Dungeons and Dragons that you have a big dumb barbarian character. Tends to happen. I mean, I'm sorry guys, but your barbarian can be fucking smart. It can happen. Please. So we talked about it a little bit, and we're like, it could be a possibility. Could not be a possibility. We kind of just thought about it. We're just like, maybe. Kind of like a chin scratch moment. And we kind of let it slide from there. We're kind of like, maybe, maybe not. We don't know. So around this time, I've built a couple of encounters. He's talked about a few monsters. I've used a few monsters, and it almost actually caused a character death. Sorry, Charles. And, that was not his fault. He was playing a squishy wizard. And, basically, a whole bunch of situations happened where, you know, new encounters, new lands, they were leveling up, all kinds of situations where Percy kept leading himself in, kind of inching himself inward more into the group a little bit more, where his NPCs were more and more in line with the group. Like, basically kind of either following them along or piecing together a small side quest, something on the lines of that. So, let's get to the main situation, shall we? The main situation that mainly happened, I keep saying Maine. I don't even live in Maine. I live in the land of pencils. Whoopsies. Anywho, I'm just sitting here like, okay. So he comes to me as I'm trying to build up an encounter to lead into some story. Leading into the story, since the story is, you know, they're combating ancient priests and priestesses from an ancient death-worshipping cult. And I put death in quotations because it's technically death and rebirth. Like, it's basically an apocalypse that comes, puts the earth to sleep for a little bit, and, like, reboots the earth, in a way. However, it was prematurely brought back by an asshole known as Circadia, because Circadia is a selfish bitch, and she put a curse on the few remaining priests and priestesses, other than her two adoptive daughters, Dawn and Ava. I can't explain more, because if my players watch the video, they will be spoiled for major plot points. Wink wonk. Squeaky chair. So, let's get to the main situation. They were dealing with a priestess of the nature. Basically, druid hybrid with maybe wizard or sorcerer. Kind of just blended few things. And she was an interesting homebrew when I was trying to piece together a really cool Garden of Babylon temple with the mix of, I want to say I was blending between the island of Umbriel and Angel Island from Sonic. I kind of wanted just this really cool floating weaponized island temple. And I thought of it as a really cool idea. And this just giant ass crater in the earth where it just plops down. I mean, it fit. It fit. It worked. I did my thing. So I described the priestess to Percy, and Percy, as an experienced DM, was just like, yes, she seems like if PETA had a baby with a hippie. And I'm like, well, yeah, kinda. Just plants are her babies, not animals. You get my point. And he's just like, okay. And he got this idea, and he's just like, what if I bring you these beautiful babies? And he basically shows me a bunch of really cool encounter ideas, and I'm like, I don't know. They seem kind of iffy, because the encounters he showed me at first were a little too powerful. Like, they were only, level 5? Yeah, they were level 5. Just turned level 5. And level 5, for spellcasters, is a huge deal, because you get big spells, like Fireball. Yeah. I don't think Keenan ever used Fireball. No offense to Charles. But, like, I was sitting there thinking, like, during the whole situation, we had that. But on the other situation, they were trying to talk to the Elven Queen. You know, a batshit insane, crazy Elven Queen who was kind of a tyrannical monarch. And, the only reason they could do that was through gladiatorial combat, at least I thought. I kind of accidentally skipped it due to the fact of a natural 20. I thought it was epic, so I kind of did the rule of cool kind of rule of thumb. I can speak. Anywho, there was a gladiatorial combat thing, and I tested it out with Percy, beside the point, saying that there was going to be a tournament that they were going to face, and basically they have to have a party of people, and they cannot have more than one type of fighter. For example, you can't have 2 druids, you can't have 2 bards, you can't have 2 wizards. Example A being our party had 2 druids, Ava and Sophone, and our party also had 2 bards at the time, Mickey and Goonie. And we kind of suggested, hey, throw in the superior, not the superior fighter, but the superior healer. We need it. So we basically suggested that Sophone, being the superior fighter of the superior fighter of the druid, we needed a superior healer because Ava couldn't heal. So we kind of were trying to suggest, hey, throw Goonie in there, throw Goonie. I mean, she's a little squishy, but protect her. Protect the kitty cat. But in this situation, I kind of figured out that something got a little suspicious. And I kind of talked it out that his parties were overpowered. They had magical items, they had a whole bunch of other things that they shouldn't have had. Like, I literally said no magic items, and he had magic items. And if there were magic items, they basically, cough cough, they can't have things that boost stats, stuff like that. And, you're not, basically simple rules of combat, like, you can only use basic weapons, you can only, literal gladiatorial combat. You think I would, throw 2 people in a fucking, gladiatorial ring and give one person Mjolnir and be like, okay, fight. That's not a fun thing to witness, because the other person would be instantly killed and exploded, and you're like, I just paid $20 to watch this guy get exploded by lightning. That's it. That's the fireworks, folks. Like, no. So I was explaining why, and he's just, Percy got a little pissed at me, like, ooh, I don't like that. However, during this time of change, Charles had a trick up his sleeve. He's just like, okay, so if he's gonna be an overpowered asshole, I have another thing up my sleeve. And I was just like, what do you have up your sleeve? He's just like, I want to switch characters. And I'm like, what? Why are you switching characters? He's just like, I want to switch characters. I want to switch from using my wizard Keenan to using my monk Tabaxi Sunshine. Or, his full name's Sunshine at Night, but we all just call him Sunshine, because he's Little Ray Sunshine. Who's this 7-foot-tall cheetah man, and sometimes I am very tempted to call him Chester. Anywho, we got Sunshine, who comes in, greets the party during this gladiatorial combat initiation, which technically didn't go so... I mean, they got in, but they were gonna face his party later on, which wasn't gonna go well anyway. But, there was, an Olympic-style competition where you could also talk to the queen. And, kind of was my cop-out. Kind of I didn't want them getting obliterated and possibly killed because this guy was being an OP motherfucker. So, let's go with that. Let's go with that. And that's a great way how I could introduce Sunshine, because Sunshine's hilarious. Charles, if you're watching this, we love Sunshine. Basically they met Sunshine, and Sunshine outran, Corrin, our barbarian, in a race, over walls, and each wall kept getting taller. Basically, it was a rope climbing kind of thing, kind of like you see in military races and obstacle courses where, okay, obstacle course where you gotta rope climb, and then you gotta run, and then you gotta rope climb, and then the walls keep getting bigger and bigger, and then you got this Tabaxi monk who instantly just climbs over everything. He was like fucking Spider-Man. Whoop! There it is. Well, so he ended up losing the race, so they're like, okay, well, what else can he do? And everyone's like, well, we got shot put. And he's just like, okay, well, let's try shot put. Natural fucking 20, and I'm like, fuck it, he beats it, whatever. Let's do it. Let's fucking do it. Part of me wants to add on the hangover story, because, they all got shit-faced drunk after that. I'm talking a majority of the fucking party got shit-faced after that. They did not, go home after that, or to the inn. They ended up staying at the bar. Or, most of them. Let me know in the comments if you want me to talk about the Hangover story, because it's actually really fucking funny. But, after the Hangover story, after they get things situated and they're more initiated with Sunshine, oh boy, Sunshine already almost immediately fucking died. I felt awful. It was just a track record of Charles's characters almost fucking dying, and I was like, no! No! I felt so awful. I was just like, oh god, he's gonna think I'm trying to murder all his fucking characters. I'm not. I am not. I feel awful. Like, I cried when I thought Keenan was gonna die. I cried. Like, at character death, I just cry. Like, I am softy DM. I feel so bad. I mean, now I'm kind of, like, toughening up. Like, maybe they need a little character death to motivate them. But then I'm like, no, I couldn't do it because I don't know who I couldn't. I couldn't do that to him. I couldn't. But, like, let's get to this main event, shall we? So, when it comes to this little, main event that was planned for me by Percy, Percy suggested 3 types of creatures for the encounter because we finally got our almost full party because, our friend couldn't hang out with us for the session, so we have our almost full party. However, she lets me control her character. So we have our friend Logan, who finally was able to join us, and he is so confused to what was going on, and we had to explain what was going on. And, they were basically getting to eat dinner with the queen, and, here's the 3 creatures that got to hang out with them, and, burst in on their party. So he suggests the first creature being a giant ape. And, oh boy, giant apes in the monster manual have a fucking holy fucking shit load of power. Like, their fucking swings, I think they have multi-attack. Which, if you're level 1, level 2, or level 3, you're fucked. That's gonna wreck your shit. But if you're level 4, maybe you're fine if you're like a barbarian or a paladin or someone with a high, like, constitution. Now, they were level 5. Some had higher constitutions. We're good. However, we have some who were a little more squishy. Goonie particularly, because she was the lowest health of the party for the longest time. And this encounter was the biggest bullshit encounter we have ever dealt with. So not on top of having Harambe at the table, we also had a Myconid. Myconids are basically shrooms people. Yeah, we basically had Toad from Mario Party, and he just came in like, hey, what's up? I'm just gonna... Boom! Now you're tripping acid. And it's like... How? Like, he could literally stun our barbarian, and he made him go out of a rage and waste a rage. It was... Oh my gosh. It was just... Holy moly. Oh, on top of that, then we have our bigger main courses, which I thought I should have lowered the amount of these. But Percy was just like, no, they should be fine. They're fine. No, they weren't. We had 4 of these fuckers. Assassin vines. Now, assassin vines, as a plant, are immune to not immune, but resistant to fire. They also can grapple you at a distance of 20 feet. They can also drown you in a pool of poison if you can't make your dexterity save. So guess what, motherfuckers? You're fucking doomed if these fuckers get a hold of you. So, let me explain why Sunshine almost died. For one of the fastest characters that has ever made an encounter, like, I've made an encounter with, like, he has the fastest dexterity of the party, and the highest initiative being, like, a 15. I think it's a 15. I could be wrong, I'm not looking at the Roll20 right now. But with the potential of a 15, minimum, he somehow got captured by an assassin vine and kept getting entrapped by assassin vines and not not passing the save. Now, to pass the save, you have to pass a certain number if you keep rolling the dice, and if you get lower than that, you get my point. So, let me take a sip of this lemonade, because, oh boy, we get spicy. So as time goes on, this encounter was so deadly, most of the party members were going out. Some of us forgot Ravon was resistant to poison. And then we kind of remembered, oh hey, he's resistant to poison, he's a mountain dwarf. And, we had to get multiple NPCs in to help attack. Like, I had to pull in the characters I've made for the gladiatorial combat to come in and help save their asses. Here's what I found to be bullshit. While I'm doing this, I could not see Percy's sheet for his character. And his character, this is why I brought Critical Role in, was basically a copy and paste of Percy from Critical Role's Season 1. He had every single weapon as Percy, had similar looks to Percy, had similar actions to Percy, even had a similar fucking accent to Percy. Which, don't get me wrong, he's a decent voice actor, props to Percy. But, holy shit, were we pissed. We couldn't see his sheet, we couldn't see if he was proper level, we couldn't see if he was anything, but he has all these OP guns and shit because, oh woo, he's a fucking gunslinger, let's go! Oh boy, what's gonna happen next? Well, we get through the encounter after multiple times of throwing shit at the plants. Because, you know, we killed the giant ape, we killed the myconid, but it took forever for the plants because they're also health tanks. Like, they could have up to 100-something health. Oh yeah, they health tanks. Ooh, Nelly. So, after that battle, this person lovingly shit-talked all of us, basically saying we had no idea what we were doing, had no idea what we could do, had no idea, like, basically just shit-talked all of us for playing D&D and not knowing what we were doing. However, we've never encountered certain creatures before, like the, you know, assassin vine. However, that's because the assassin vine was in a book I didn't have, and I, at the time, did not have the resources to grab the assassin vine. So, here's the aftermath. Let's go. After shit-talking everybody, oh boy, did people pop off calling him a Critical Role ripoff. Because everybody was just like, oh, you want to yell at us for not knowing what we're doing, but at least we have fucking original characters, know what we're doing, actually, and, we don't have to rely on Critical Role as a fucking crutch. Now, we like Critical Role. Like, my server, we spam Critical Role memes all the time, we love Critical Role. And I could swear to God, this guy would probably, like, suck Matt Mercer's dick. No offense to Matt Mercer, but he would literally just slob on that knob. He would just kiss ass. He would be like, ooh, woo, let me play with you, Matt Mercer, Sama Senpai, San-chan, Kun. Sama, you get my point. Basically just going uber fucking weeb for him, and it was just absolutely batshit insane. Now, while we're trying to figure out this whole situation, we had a huge-ass discussion on where our character inspirations came from. And it was obvious some inspirations did come from Critical Role. Charles did admit his character Keenan did have some inspiration from the Season 2 character, I'm trying to remember his name. They're a wizard. Caleb. However, a lot of differences because Caleb is kind of like that soft boy, kind of hidden gem kind of character, while Keenan is kind of like Red Foreman with a beard. It's hard to explain. I mean, we didn't get to see many of Keenan's soft spots. However, like, we could definitely tell inspiration versus straight up ripoff, because ripoff would have been like what Percy did with his character, which was literally the Percy ripoff, and just take the straight up same weapons, same straight up things, and do the same things he did to try and get the same boosts. Well, you remember the little, instinct Charles at the beginning. Like, I think he's got I think he's got a little bit of a rip-off from the beginning, too. Well, it seems like he did, too. Like, the character Grog from the first season as well, a lot like Vin. A lot like Vin. And it was sad. Like, that most of his characters that he brought into the game were mainly rip-offs. His NPCs that he created, he had created this cleric-like character that was a fusion between Jester and Mollymock. He had a character that was a fusion between Bo and Mollymock because she was a blood hunter but had like a Bo-like attitude. Just a whole bunch of weird amalgamations, but it was totally told that, honey, you straight up ripped off fucking Critical Role. And that's the shit I don't like. As someone who likes to make characters and stuff, I don't like ripping off characters as well as, character designs or character attitudes or, but nothing is original nowadays. I do agree with that. Like, characters can have similar attitudes to each other, I get that. Characters can have, of course, similar classes. Definitely. However, do yourself a favor and try not to rip off of something popular. Like, I love flamboyant characters. I love them. A good example is Taco from the Adventure Zone, another great D&D podcast. Amazing character, but I would never rip off Taco because fucking it's Taco, man. Who would fucking do that to Taco? Like, Taco is a fucking queen. But at the same time, if you like something so much, don't rip it off. Use it as inspiration to create something either of your own design or something similar to it, but not... How do I explain? You get my point. Use it as inspiration, don't just straight up copy it. Like, take different bits and pieces from places, rather than, just, ooh, woo, I'm just gonna use Percy. Yes, we get it, Percy. Now, Mercy Percy. Yes, we get it. He's fucking hot. We get it! But, at this point, I'm getting redundant. So, how did this story end? Well, he ended up leaving the game because we all caught him on his bullshit. He also thought that a video that I made a long time ago on, old Frat was on him. And he ended up leaving my server. And, no, that was not on him. And, if you are ever watching this video, by the way, Percy, this is just hopefully something you can, look back on and see what you kind of went wrong with. Hopefully. I mean, I'm looking back on it, and I know I went wrong with a bunch of situations. I mean, you fucking shit-talked straight to my face, and I'm surprised I didn't fucking screech, but here we are. I guess we grow, man. But, all in all, in the end of the day, just do yourself a favor and not get those problem players. Especially when it comes to Critical Role, and those who want to fall into the little edge of the Matt Mercer effect. But don't let that affect you. Puns. So, I hope you guys will look forward to some other videos. I'm planning on making a crystal video talking about my little adventures with crystals and some of my favorite crystals and stuff like that because I am a crystal addict and I have a bunch of them sitting here with me and they even inspire some of my art. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this little Dungeons & Dragons tale. It's just a little bit of a retelling of a story that I've been trying to tell. I've been trying to make this a little longer so I can make a longer speed paint. And I've been trying to, get back on the roll of recording and get back on the roll of doing shit. Now to draw something for this because I have no idea what to draw. Because it'll be fairly obvious what I'm doing. So, oh boy. Thank you guys for watching. Have a lovely day, afternoon, evening, whatever. And make sure to credit all your thumbnail artists. Because I draw my own thumbnails, but I've been having an issue with that. So, thank you.